Hey guys, welcome back. Alright, so today we're going to work on our battery. I don't remember if I've filmed this or videoed it, I don't remember. But here's what we're doing. These are lithium iron phosphate cells. This is what they look like. You can see they're like a little over an inch thick, inch and a quarter thick. Little bricks. They make like 3 volts a piece. So this is a 12 volt battery. I think they're like 3.3, 3.2. So this is like 12.8 to, 13.2 volts. We were going to run a 12 volt battery, but we decided to go 16 volt. So we got to add one more cell. Now, I'm not an expert at this, but I did some Googling. A lot of people put this stuff called fish tape. It's this paper. And I did some testing. Actually, maybe I did upload this a long time ago. I kind of remember doing the testing at least. This paper is thin tape, like it's fairly thin. This stuff is super dense. And I did some electrical testing, like basically try to stab through this and see like how tough it is. It's actually quite tough. The puncture resistance this offers is pretty impressive. And that's the main thing you're doing. So what we did here, if we look, this poking up here, that's tape. So it insulates between all the cells and gives you that resistance so that, if this thing ever gets dropped or poked or something, it's just less likely to puncture a cell. So we got to do this one. So the way we built these was we actually did the cells individually. If I put my fingernail here, you can kind of see. It's hard to film. But anyway, basically I did each cell individually and then put it together and taped the pack with this. This is a different tape. This color. I don't remember what that's called. Polyamide maybe or something. Anyway, I'll show you that later. But anyway, we're going to get this going because we need a 16 volt battery. It does fit in this box. Although it could probably use some insulation to keep it tight. We'll probably do that too. But I want to get this built, put in there and get it situated. Probably hook wires and a plug or figure something out. I don't know. Figure that out. And I want to figure out where it's going in the car. Couple reasons. So we're working on this bumper, and I hate doing this stuff, but I'm not really sure how we're going to fix this problem just yet. It seems almost inevitable that I got to glue something to the plastic to be able to bond to it. The only alternative, but I don't really love it, if I use a license plate, maybe not this plate particularly, but if you put a license plate here, it does stiffen it slightly. However, I could put holes in those 4 locations and nobody would think twice about that, which means I could put metal on the backside and have a frame. So this is the only way I thought of. I'm like, I could actually put holes that nobody would notice, nobody would care. So I might do that. I got to think about it because this is not a street car, so like this isn't really the license plate that's going to be, on the car. This is just the old plate. This car hasn't been registered in a while. But I may do this, like, just go get like a funny plate or whatever. I don't know what, but something clever, and then use the bolts to attach it to the frame behind it. Maybe do that. Then I don't have to glue shit. So that's an option. But let's worry about that later. So we're going to get our battery put together and go from there. And by the way, this is that tape I was telling you about. So if we need that, we'll use that to tape this up when we're done. But for now, we do the fish tape, which it's somewhere. I'll find that too. LOL. Yeah, I found it. All right, let's get to work. Okay. So we haven't actually done anything. We just taped it so it would stay put. But I've been thinking about how are we going to do this and what do we want it to be like. So this car doesn't have an alternator. It's just going to charge up between races or swap batteries or whatever. So I was thinking about it. I was like, I could, one option, okay, this is kind of an excuse, but I don't have, this is the aluminum I want to use for the straps. But I only have this one piece. Sorry, it's a terrible excuse. But that's not enough to do 2 straps. So I was like, because you got to strap it like this. I was like, okay, 1 strap. 1 strap's allowed by the rules. But I was like, yeah, then it could I don't like that. What do I do? And then I thought, okay, if I was to build a base, and to where the box could not move left and right or up and down on the bottom, well then just a single strap would actually secure it nicely. That's how a lot of factory batteries are. In fact, they drop into a base that does your left, right, forward, backwards, and then the single strap prevents it from moving in this direction. So I was like, okay, I like that idea. Then I thought of another one. What if this was actually bolted to the car from the bottom? Now for the rules, I still have to have a strap. I can't get away from having a strap for the rules. But what I could do is also have something that bolts the box, like brackets and bolts and whatever, and physically attach the box like this. What that means, if I were to do it that way, is that if I ever need to replace the battery, like say my battery's low on charge and I just want to swap it, I don't want to charge it, or whatever, charge it outside the vehicle, and if you got to race in 5 minutes, you don't have time to charge a battery, so you just want to swap it. Well, if I do it that way, that strap could have a bolt here and a bolt down here. You remove those 2 bolts, unclick these latches, flip this open, and the battery, probably has like 2 lugs. Here, I'll show you. I don't have this part done yet, but the part that goes here, these just have bolts. So, worst case, you take those 2 bolts off and unhook the wires, or you could have a quick connect plug, then you just unplug it and swap it, which is probably what I would do. Point is, it wouldn't be that hard to make this to where it was swappable. So if you ever need to swap batteries, it'd be easy to do. And I like the idea. In fact, I've considered having the car set up that way because 1 battery might be enough for a whole night of racing without even charging, maybe. But 2 batteries would definitely meet that. So if swapping the battery was like a 2 or 3 minute job, that might just be the answer. Is just race for like, a couple hours, swap the battery, race a couple more hours, and call it a night. So I like the idea. Whether we do all that, I don't know. But what I do think we're going to do is we're going to build this box to where it's mounted to the car, separate from that strap. I do like that idea. And it's probably not that hard to do. Now the next thing, one easy button would just be to weld a piece of metal like this. But if there's anything I've learned on this car, if you can do stuff that's easier to undo, that's kind of better, because this car gets changed. I mean, Jesus Christ, how much this car's changed over time. Parts that get put on and taken off, and anyway, we'll skip the story. So we're going to build stuff that bolts on because it's just easier to change down the road. So anyway, we're going to figure out how to do that and get this box attached. Okay, so we're making some progress. We keep flipping around how we're going to end up doing this, but this is what we came up with so far. We got some angle iron and built a little box. And with enough persuasion, this does go together. It's hard to do with one hand, but I promise. Here, I'll pause it. Hold on. Okay, guys, so we've been working on this. We ended up making this. We just used some aluminum angle, and this is hard to do one-handed. I'm gonna try. Oh, it actually worked. So it's a bit tight, but it does fit. So that holds the base nicely. And then this fits in the car. I'll try to show you. I don't know if this will work one-handed. Something approximately like this. Yeah. So we're going to put some bolts up here that go from like here to here to squeeze these. That'll lock the top in. Down here, we've actually marked it right there. We're going to drill a hole and then mark the subframe and then drill the subframe and install a threaded insert. And you'll just have like a spacer and a bolt, and you'll bolt that to the subframe, and you'll have bolts up here. We still got to do a strap. I believe we're going to do a single strap like this. So the top of the strap, we'll probably put a threaded insert back here, run the top of the strap over, back, and maybe to this. There's not really a great spot here. I really don't want to weld, so we'll have to figure that one out. But anyway, that's our plan. So not my best work, but it is lightweight so far, and the location's not bad. Back of the car, center, fairly low. Not like as low as possible, but not bad. And you can still see the diff, which I wanted that. So overall, pretty good. Okay, so this is what we got so far. We got our bracket bolted up. Rivet nuts with spacers. Just a bolt and a nut on the top. Same on both sides. So it's just friction holding it in right now. There's a base, like, yeah, I can get the camera back here. So basically we're gonna have a strap that pulls the box that way into that base we just created. So I've been looking at this, the way I want to do the strap and the way I'm going to end up doing it. So if you go over the top, this distance is the same whether you come from this side or from this side. But then if you go across the battery, it's shorter to go this direction. Therefore, a strap that goes this direction will be shorter and thus lighter. So it's preferable. However, there's some downsides. if you wanted to pull the battery, you have to access a bolt way up here. And when the car's on the ground, that would be more difficult than accessing a bolt here. So maybe a reason to put them on the side. But then putting a bolt in the top actually is super easy. I got a ton of room there, but the problem is down here. There ain't crap for room. My only shot is to drill a hole right there and have a bracket that just goes this and L, and it's just tight. I don't love that. And then getting in there, like, you can't get a T-handle. It's possible to turn it, but it's just annoying, and there's a sway bar. If you ever want to get a bigger sway bar, it could interfere with a future update there. So what we've decided is we're going to add a piece of metal to the bracket, like over here, I think, on both sides. Drill a hole in that new piece of metal and run our strap to that. The plus side is it'll all be integrated into this bracket. So since this bracket fits the car, I can unbolt it, fab what we're talking about outside of the car, make sure it works, and then just bolt the assembly in the car. It could actually already be strapped or whatever, but I think we're going to do it that way. Shouldn't be too hard. These corner welding kind of sucks, but I mean, we kind of managed. Certainly isn't pretty, but it sticks. So I think we're going to do that. And then the battery box and enclosure and mounting, all that stuff will be in there. So let's make this happen. Check it out. Man, this took, you don't want to know, this took several hours. It looks like nothing, but this took a while. So it's done. I don't know if, I think this is good enough for my local track. Technically, these are supposed to be 3/8, but I used 1/4 inch. It's plenty strong, or at least I think it is. Oh, we'll see. I doubt anybody's going to care, but if they do, it's easy enough to change or whatever. Who knows? But boom, battery bracket. So to take it off, you just pop these two bolts out, which it does have a bolt and a nut right now. I could do rivet nuts, but at this time I haven't done it. Like I said, I want to see if this actually, if they say anything at the track or if this is okay. But yeah, do that. These two handles flip out. This locks, so I'll probably put some bolts here because that's like extra security, just to keep that. And I could even bolt this to this, but I'm not going to worry about it for now. So yeah, man, another big item off the list. And then our kill, you know, obviously. So drag racing, you have to have a kill switch that disconnects the battery from the engine, or from everything. So our kill switch is going to go somewhere over here. So we got a nice little, you know, quick jump from the battery to the kill, so that's nice. Keeps the wiring light, short, and simple. So yeah, pretty happy. Boom, battery. Well, now I think we're actually going to work on the battery because we put our cells together, but we need to get them in this box. So maybe work on that next.